And welcome back to the Prospect Hut. Hope you like this video. Hit the subscribe button. I don't normally do this sort of over the top starts of these videos like I do on my other channels, but we have something interesting for you, and that's about former prospect and current minor leaguer for the Mets since Kevin Parada. And this is from SI.com, and really this was a shock to your host as well, as I went through this list, amazingly enough. Headline: former New York Mets first rounder falls out of latest prospect rankings. The New York Mets waste a top 11 pick on a player who might never make the majors. Well, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign. The overall pick in the 2022 MLB draft, which was a first draft of Billy Epler. Catcher Kevin Parada looks to be a wasted pick by the New York Mets after he fell out of MLB Pipeline's updated top 30 prospect rankings this spring. That is not good. Parada, who's 23, was lauded as, at the time of selection, as one of the best hitters in the class, but with some defensive questions. Even his glove never caught up to his advanced bat. The thoughts were that his offense would push him to the majors all by itself. Entering his third season after the selection, the questions are louder than ever and are spread to the other side of the ball. Despite the young catcher purchasing a Florida home so he can work through the winters with team personnel, the young backstop continues to struggle on defense. The running game was a particular weakness early in his professional career, with Parada seeing the 10th most stolen bases against him in 2023, despite playing only 59 games behind the plate that season. In 73 games at catcher for Double-A Binghamton last year, Parada caught only 23% of attempted base stealers. That number represented a significant improvement from 2023 of 18%, but came with a corresponding increase in pass balls from 7 to 15. This is a player that this is a real struggle. Okay, it is shocking how poorly he has played in the minor leagues. Shocking. His defense, his framing also remains a work in progress, despite the extra focus on defensive improvements. The catcher went to the Arizona Fall League in 23 to make up for missed time after an ankle injury. Spent a lot of his game reps behind the plate and focusing on receiving. Parada's off-season weight loss, where he dropped 15 pounds, could potentially help him improve behind the plate with blocking and agility. Unfortunately, the extra time spent on getting his defense to be even playable has hampered the once carrying tool of his bat. Parada's career minor league slash line across 3 seasons is .233 batting average, .322 on-base percentage, .395 slugging percentage. With 28 homers, 233 games, including a .214 average and .663 OPS for Binghamton last season. The catcher has always had an unconventional swing, one that was seen as a possible hindrance to instruction where he to struggle. No struggles are finally here. In 2024, Parada struggled to make contact at all. Wow, with a 35.7% whiff rate in the strike zone. Among all hitters with 400 or more plate appearances in the minors, that was the second worst rate in all baseball. He especially struggled with both velocity and spin away, although his issues seem to be limited to missing those pitches in the zone rather than chasing an exclusive amount. The struggles have led to a precipitous fall down the prospect ranks for Parada. Once seen as the top prospect in the system, Baseball America has him as only the 27th prospect in the system, meaning that if not for his amateur pedigree and draft status, he would not rank among the Mets' top prospects. MLB Pipeline went one step further, taking Parada off of their newly released organization top 30 rankings entirely. To his credit, Parada is handling the snubs in stride, telling the New York Post that it wasn't a bad thing for him to struggle last season. Quote, "No one wants to struggle at all. That's always frustrating," Parada told the Post. "I think it was good for my development as a player to struggle a little bit right there. Being able to learn a little bit more about myself. I'm lucky enough to get another opportunity. Do my best to take advantage of it." Now, this is a major problem because Mets invest a lot of money in him. And obviously they invested the draft pick. It seems that the draft picks of the last few years we've seen a real mixed bag, and some of the players that have been brought in, particularly by Billy Epler, we're having to see a very mixed bag here. And a lot of them aren't good. Okay. The 2021 draft, if we want to go back even further, Uh, Initially, the prospects, the players that they drafted after they lost out on Kuma Rocket because they couldn't sign him because he failed his physical with the Mets. Those guys, Calvin Ziegler was drafted, hasn't pitched much. He's been injured the most of the time he's been here. Mike Vassell looked like he was going to be a very good back end of the rotation starter with the Mets. Completely collapsed the prospect last season. The Mets left him unprotected. Was picked up in the Rule 5 draft by the Red Sox. Don Hamill was unprotected as well. He was part of that draft. Did not get protected, and the Mets re-signed him as a minor league free agent. 3 years ago, we have a couple of guys. One is Kevin Parada, who's completely collapsed. And with his status, Jet Williams missed all of last year. But obviously, this is about Kevin Parada. Kevin Parada, from what I've heard, is very difficult to work with, supposedly, in the minor leagues. That he's very stubborn to deal with in terms of how the coaches handle him. That he fights with the coach. That is the rumor that I have heard. That he's not particularly too enthused about the instruction that he gets from the minor league coaches. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what I've heard from someone that works in the Mets organization. So that could be a bit of a problem. I would also mention this, which is important to note. Prior to the draft, he was considered a top 5 prospect in the draft. The belief was he was going to go in the top 5 spots. He fell to 11. His stock was dropping precipitously before the draft and during the draft. And a lot of it surrounded his defense. Now, if you don't get any offense from a player that you expect offense from, but the defense is an issue, if you're not getting that offense from the player, you're going to have a problem. And obviously, the Mets have had this problem. But he's still 23 years old. He's had that ability to be a run producer, to be a home run hitter. Now, last year, SNY played a lot of games, played a lot of minor league games, and they had him on TV. I watched a lot of the Binghamton teams. I was very focused on watching Parada play. From what I saw in the short amount, and this is a short amount, and the competition in AA in the Eastern League is very good. It's always been good. Because most of the best prospects are in AA. Usually AAA, you get the sort of a mix with a lot of veteran players. But in AAA, you basically prospect per prospect. Prospect versus prospect. I was not impressed with the swing. I was not impressed with his bat. At all. I was not impressed with what I saw in terms of his swing. The bat looks kind of slow. And this is somebody that's watched baseball for many, many years. And I'll be very honest with you when I see a player. If I don't see a player, I can't tell you. But I've seen him enough to tell you he has to pick up the bat speed, and that's tough to do at 23 years old. But maybe he'll find it. Maybe that losing the weight will help. Who knows? We'll find out very soon. So, and this is it. This is really the final shot now he has. He has to have a good year with the Mets play him. I would say probably start in AA. And if he gets off to a good start, they'll send him to AAA. He's not on the 40-man roster yet. So the Mets don't think that highly of him yet to put him there. But they don't have to yet because he's not. He's still protected under free agency, but for minor leagues. But you let me know what you think about this video. And, of course, if you've seen Parada, let me know what you think about him as a player. This is not personal. When I talk about a player, it's very much tell it like it is. So, thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to the Prospect Hut, and I'll see you later.